Good evening, I'm Ryan, and welcome to NFL Trending, where we break down the biggest stories shaking up the National Football League. Tonight, our top story centers on a major debate unfolding in Chicago and across social media. Fans are calling for Caleb Williams, the number 1 overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, to be replaced by Colorado standout Shedeur Sanders as the future quarterback of the Chicago Bears. This debate has exploded across Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, where Bears fans have made their frustrations with Williams clear after a rocky start to his professional career. Once hailed as a generational prospect, Williams has faced criticism for inconsistent performances, costly turnovers, and his struggles adjusting to the speed and complexity of NFL defenses. For a fanbase starved for a true franchise quarterback, patience is wearing thin. Now, enter Shedeur Sanders. The son of NFL Hall of Famer and Colorado head coach Deion Sanders, Shedeur has quickly become one of college football's brightest stars. Known for his poise, accuracy, and leadership, Sanders has put up gaudy numbers for the Buffaloes, showing he can command an offense and thrive under pressure. His growing popularity, charisma, and connection to the Sanders brand have made him a household name, and fans in Chicago are beginning to dream about what he might bring to Soldier Field. But why are fans already turning on Caleb Williams? After all, Williams was considered one of the most polished prospects in years, drawing comparisons to Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers for his creativity, arm strength, and ability to make plays outside the pocket. The problem is that potential hasn't yet translated into consistent results. Behind a shaky offensive line and with limited time to adjust, Williams has been forced into bad decisions. While he has shown flashes of brilliance, his uneven performances have sparked doubts. The Bears, as a franchise, are no strangers to quarterback controversies. From Jay Cutler to Mitch Trubisky to Justin Fields, Chicago has struggled to find stability at the most important position in football. Drafting Williams was supposed to end that cycle once and for all. But for some fans, the wait for greatness feels too familiar and too frustrating. On social media, the calls for Shedeur Sanders are growing louder by the week. Hashtags like #StartShedeur and #ShedeursToChicago are trending, and highlight reels of Sanders lighting up defenses in college are being spliced next to clips of Williams' interceptions. The narrative is gaining traction. Why stick with a struggling rookie when there could be another option waiting in the draft? Of course, this isn't just about performance. Shedeur Sanders represents something bigger. He embodies confidence, charisma, and leadership. His connection to his father, Deion Coach Prime Sanders, only amplifies his star power. In an era where the NFL is as much about entertainment and personality as it is about X's and O's, Shedeur has the aura that excites fans and media alike. Some Bears fans see him not just as a quarterback but as the potential face of the franchise, someone who could energize Chicago the way Joe Burrow has in Cincinnati or Lamar Jackson has in Baltimore. But let's take a step back. Should Bears fans really be ready to give up on Caleb Williams this quickly? Many analysts argue that the criticism is unfair. Rookie quarterbacks rarely hit the ground running in the NFL. Peyton Manning threw 28 interceptions in his rookie season. Josh Allen was considered inaccurate and raw during his first 2 years. Even Trevor Lawrence struggled before Doug Peterson helped turn him into a playoff quarterback. Williams, by comparison, is still learning, still adapting, and still showing glimpses of the elite talent that made him the number 1 pick. Head coach Matt Eberflus and the Bears front office have publicly stood behind Williams, emphasizing patience and development. They know the investment they made and the draft capital they spent. Moving on from Williams after just 1 year would not only be unprecedented, it would be organizational chaos. Still, in the age of instant gratification, fans don't want to hear about patience. They want results, and they want them now. As for Shedeur Sanders, his NFL prospects are climbing. Scouts praise his accuracy, decision-making, and ability to read defenses. He may not have the same raw physical tools as Williams, but he has a steadiness that many evaluators love. If he declares for the draft after this season, there's a very real possibility he could be a top 5 pick, maybe even challenge for the number 1 spot depending on how the college season unfolds. Imagine the storyline: the Bears, frustrated with Williams, drafting Sanders in back-to-back years to try and solve their quarterback woes. It would be unprecedented, shocking, and divisive, but in the NFL, stranger things have happened. For now, though, it's more fantasy than reality. The Bears are committed to Williams, at least publicly, and moving on so quickly would cost them both financially and in terms of credibility. Still, the voices on social media can't be ignored. In today's NFL, fan opinion matters more than ever. It shapes narratives, pressures organizations, and even influences the decisions of owners and general managers. What's happening in Chicago right now is a perfect example of how quickly public opinion can turn on a young player and how dangerous the hype machine can be. Beyond the debate, this storyline also highlights the broader issue of quarterback development in the NFL. Expectations are sky-high for rookies, especially when they're drafted number 1 overall. But the reality is that success takes time. Coaching, supporting cast, and organizational stability all play critical roles in shaping a quarterback's future. If the Bears truly want Caleb Williams to succeed, they need to give him more than a handful of games before hitting the panic button. Meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders continues to do his part, win games at Colorado, put up highlight-worthy throws, and show NFL scouts that he's ready for the big stage. Whether or not he ends up in Chicago, his name will be one of the most talked about heading into the next NFL draft cycle. For the Bears, the path forward is clear but challenging. They must decide whether to stay the course with Caleb Williams, trusting the process, or give in to the growing clamor for a new face at quarterback. History suggests they'll stick with Williams, but history also shows that in Chicago, quarterback controversies never truly go away. And so, the debate rages on. Caleb Williams versus Shedeur Sanders. The present versus the future. Patience versus impatience. For Bears fans, it's just the latest chapter in a never-ending search for stability at quarterback. For the rest of the NFL, it's a storyline worth watching closely. That's all for tonight's edition of NFL Trending. I'm Ryan, thanks for joining us. Be sure to follow along as this debate continues to unfold across social media, on the field, and in the front offices of the NFL. Until next time, keep trending with the league that never stops delivering drama.